Firearms in SHTF scenarios. So let's talk about it. Before we get into the nitty gritty stuff, I'm going to tell you a story, and it's going to be a gun shop story. I used to own a gun shop for about a decade, and I would have a lot of people come in and talking about how they hated guns and they didn't like guns, and then they would tell me after how they need a gun. And I was always confused, like, what? You were just talking about how you hated guns. Like, I thought it was just like, someone that just didn't like it coming over here to, give me some crap about what I was doing or whatnot. But then they would want to buy a gun. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? So that went on over and over and over again over the years. And it made me realize that everyone owns guns, whether they like them or not, whether they hate them, they love them, they all have guns. I mean, I've had people come in that just couldn't stand guns, and they were in there to buy a gun. It was crazy. I mean, I'm shocked. I couldn't believe it. And still to this day, I'm still like kind of shocked on what went on in all those years, when I owned that shop. The type of people that came in are the people that I never thought would come in to buy guns. I mean, Hillary Clinton supporters, a lot of Democrats, a lot of just anti-gun people all came in, took my safety classes that I was teaching, my firearms classes, and bought guns from me. And of course, all the other, normal people that love guns and the hunters and all the good people, they loved it too. But that kind of opened my eyes and made me realize that no matter what political party you're in, no matter what side of the aisle you're in, there's a lot of people that own guns no matter what. And it's for good reason. And it's this reason I want to talk about in this video. And we're going to go over why a firearm will be your main tool in a SHTF scenario. Okay, so let's get into that. So if you think about it, if you're prepping and you're preparing for SHTF or just civil unrest or whatever's going to happen, natural disasters, anything like that, you buy a lot of stuff. You get a lot of food, you get water, you get other preps, you get medical equipment, medication, just all kinds of preparedness items. Toilet paper being the number one for Americans for some reason. Everyone stocks up on all this stuff. But if you can't protect it, it's all worthless. I mean, it really is. And it's going to be taken. And you may think, well, how is it going to be taken from me? Like, why would someone come and go steal my toilet paper or my water, my food? Why would people do that? Well, you really have to think about it. Like, imagine all the people that aren't prepared and what's going to happen with them and what they're going to do. When a few days go by, when a week goes by, and people's kids start starving or are on the verge of dying from dehydration because they didn't have water storage. Those good people are going to turn into bad people. And that's one thing like most people don't realize. Good people become bad people when their kids are starving. That is one of the most important phrases to remember for preparedness. Is don't think that your neighbor's going to be that good person that you thought he was. If he's not prepared, he will turn into a bad person. And I can kind of understand it, but I don't understand why people put themselves in that situation. Because yes, if my kids were starving, I would probably do things I wouldn't do if they weren't starving, to be able to save them. So I get it. I get where that comes from. And most people don't think about that. But for me, I don't understand why you wouldn't prepare for that. Like, why aren't people thinking about this? I think they're afraid to think about it. And once you start thinking about it, you start understanding, and then you start actually preparing more. And people need to think about this. And this is one of the reasons why I'm trying to push this idea and this issue with people that aren't prepared. They will become the bad people. And that's why you need a firearm in an SHTF scenario. And that's going to be your main tool. It's going to protect everything else that you prepared for. And that is going to be the most important tool in any scenario, even just without rule of law, even a natural disaster. I mean, what happened with the hurricanes recently? I mean, there's a lot of looters that came through, even from out of state, coming in and looting and at gunpoint, looting people, breaking into houses, taking all their stuff. So, I mean, if you don't have a firearm to defend yourself, and if you don't know how to use it, you're out of luck. You're SOL. I mean, your stuff's going to be taken, and you may get killed in the process. So you have to think about that. And, if you're going to prep, you have to have a firearm. I mean, I push this, and I've pushed this for years. A firearm is going to be your main tool in any disaster or any SHTF scenario. I mean, it'll protect your family, it'll protect your supplies, it'll protect your friends, your loved ones, it'll protect your neighbors and your neighborhood. It really is going to be the main tool. So think about that. Make sure you have your preps ready. I mean, things are about to pop off, and I pray that nothing happens. But you got one day left, and I'm kind of late on getting this out, but better late than never. So please, everyone, prepare for the worst that's coming, and we hope for the best. My prayers go out to everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one.